According to the U.S. Department of Labor, waiters and waitresses in the United States service industry make on average about $5.12 per hour, not including tips. A very unreasonable wage to try to live off of. Now, when dining in the United States, you wouldn't dare sign a bill without leaving about a 15 to 20% tip. When you show up to a dinner party with a coworker that grew up in South America, make sure you show up about 15 to 30 minutes late, or you'll be perceived as greedy or overly anxious. And oh my gosh, don't you dare eat a sandwich with your hands or begin eating meals before the host when accompanied by Norwegian individuals. Use your best dining etiquette or be shown the door. Welcome to the United States of America. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. And here in the United States, we are home to the biggest cultural melting pot. Understanding how culture affects the way we think and act, and then practicing various ways of adapting to other cultural norms and customs can help us all effectively and professionally communicate on a global scale. This guy right here is Gert Hofstede. Chapter 2 of Business and Professional Communication by Carden and Floyd mentions Dutch psychologist Gert Hofstede, who began to study cultural differences, and his work shows that there are 5 very specific cultural differences that influence the way individuals communicate. This is, cultures can be individualistic or collective. They can be high or low context. They can differ in power distance. They can differ in uncertainty avoidance. And cultures can be masculine or feminine. While all of these are each unique and informative in their own way, taking a dive into both individualistic and collective cultures today will hopefully open your eyes to a more beneficial way of professional collaboration. According to Hofstede, individualistic culture refers to people believing that their primary responsibility is themselves. They place a high value on self-reliance and live up to the ideas such as only the strong survive or pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And they use the word I very often, hence individualistic. The United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, and Australia are among the most individualistic societies in the world. Now, on the contrary, we have a collective culture. Collective cultures place value on the fact that their primary responsibility is to their families, their community, and their employers. There is no I in team. Please tell me you've heard that. There's no I in team. They avoid the word I at all costs. They place the well-being of the group rather than their own personal well-being. Societies that have a collective culture include North and South Korea, Japan, and Ethiopia. Whether we're dealing with an individualistic or collective culture, they both greatly impact verbal and nonverbal communication. So why should we lean more towards collectivism? Since here in the United States, we are an individualistic culture, me standing up here and giving this presentation to you right now seems like second nature to me. However, in more collective cultures, you wouldn't see somebody standing up and giving a speech since they're taught more to blend in rather than stand out. So why should we lean more collective? This is my experience. I was an athlete for most of my life, and I had the opportunity to go play Division I college softball. The key takeaway from my experience as a student athlete was not how to hit a softball 300 feet, throw a ball 80 miles an hour overhand, or squat 400 pounds. It was how impactful working as a team could be. All of us at some point in our lives have been a part of a team, whether that's in sports, in our family, in our relationships, or even in our careers. Let's put it into perspective. How well would your marriage work out if all your spouse thought about was themselves? They never asked you for help, they never communicated with you about anything. It would pretty much essentially be like having a roommate. Now, when you have a successful, happy marriage, it would fall into the category of collective. Both individuals putting their spouse before themselves, working towards a common goal. It creates a loving and welcoming environment for everyone involved. The team works more cohesively when we all work collectively. Now, the same works for our jobs. Yes, at the end of the day, we show up here to make money and provide for ourselves and our families. But if you don't produce quality work, you're not going to get paid. So why wouldn't we work as a team? Let's put our United States normal of individualism aside for a second and see how fast we could all meet our individual and team goals if we work together for the benefit of the group and not yourself. How can we do this? In today's world, the ability to interact with people from different cultures is effective and high valued. How do we do that? We adapt, we learn the norms, we value the culture, and we use our differences to maintain creativity and drive innovation. So let's get interactive. I would like everybody to stand up and introduce themselves to the colleague on your right. Did anybody notice that your first instinct was to reach out and shake the hand and say your name? A firm handshake is the most widely accepted greeting here in the United States. But would you be shocked if I told you that this custom is not universal? Please remain standing for me. Say we fly you over to China or Japan to meet with a prospective client. You wouldn't dare greet them with a handshake. They wouldn't know what to do. The custom in Asian cultures is to go ahead and give them a bow. The lower and longer your bow is, the more respect you have towards that individual. Now, I would like you to greet that same colleague with an Asian custom bow. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. As a recap, we learned that Dutch psychologist Gert Hofstede provided 5 major differences for how cultures integrate, and they can be individualistic or collective. Why do we lean towards collectivism? Because in America, we like to work as a team, and we know that working as a team is effective. We need to adapt, we need to learn, we need to value, but above all, we need to allow the new collective integration culture to drive creativity and allow us to work together all for a common good. Thank you.